Hey everybody, I've got some new stuff for you today for robot reviews. I've got a couple of things to unbox. I have a guess at what they are, but I don't know exactly what they are. The tracking was kind of iffy on what I was being sent this time around and what I wasn't. But I've got two boxes. We're going to get into them, do a quick review of whatever we find inside. These should be. One of them is from Hasbro Pulse, and one of them is from Big Bad Toy Store. But both of them are Hasbro products. So let's open up the first one. It's rattling around in there in a way that I don't like. Like there's a loose weapon or accessory in there. We're going to take a little slit. We're going to cut open bottom of the box here. Fold that up for safety. Let's see, what do we got? All right. First one we got, he's packed in there really kind of weird. He's packed in there kind of strange. We have the Studio Series Gamer Edition Ironhide. And he will go along with the Gamer Edition Ratchet and the Bumblebee and the Sideswipe and the whole rest of them. But he's built off of the same mold as the Ironhide with a few differences. Got some good colors and things there. I don't like the weapon storage. I think that's kind of weird. I don't know. Let's set him aside. We'll get into him in a minute. And let's get into the box from Big Bad Toy Store. I think I know what this one is too, but let's open it up to find out. This got boxes, so the cats are all interested now. Hey, buddy, what do you think? What do you think, huh? What do you see? What's this? You gonna sniff my knife? Don't cut yourself. Don't cut yourself, buddy. Let's see. You can't get in there yet. There's still stuff in there. Whoa, careful. Just getting to crack your noggin. All right. They sent me a little sticker. Big Bad Toy Store, 2025. Nice of them. Put that over there. Got the bubble wrap. That's nice here. All right. This one's special. This one's a good one. This is one I've been waiting for. It's not my top excited pick from this line. I'm still waiting for my number one to show up where I can get that because I'm a fan of the IDW comics. I'll explain that later. But this is still pretty good. This is the Age of the Primes Megatronus. And he's a beast in there. He's big. He's beefy. Now I'm going to set him here. I have to set this box aside because I'm going to ship something else in this box in the near future. So I'm going to set this aside. Give me one moment. Okay, I had to make sure that was in a safe spot because I didn't want the cats to get into that one because that one's, I have to, it's the right size for something I have to ship that I sold on eBay. I'm not big into eBay, but I do sell a couple of things just to make a buck here and there. So, let's get into Ironhide first. Make sure that box don't fall over. Let's get into Ironhide. Something's in there. One of his guns or something's rattling around in there. I can see it. It's a Is that his arm? I think his arm is just rolling around loose in there. Let's open it up here. Made it slip the top. Here we go. You got the instructions and stuff in the back as they do. Put them back in the box. Who needs the instructions, right? Let me. And yeah, his arm is rolling around in the package. Now, it's not as bad as it seems. If you're familiar with the Gamer Edition versions of these, one arm, the right arm, comes off to attach weapons. Because in the game, they reconfigure their entire arm to be a weapon when they get a new weapon. So it's gimmicky, but I don't like that it was just loose in the package, but whatever. We'll take our scissors. I'm going to take a couple snips to these little things here, of course. Drop them in there. I'm going to get him loose. Get loose from all of his various. What holds him in place. Okay, let's see if there's anything on my leg here I gotta get rid of. I don't want anything just hanging out. And this back piece is all fluffed up weird, so we're gonna fold that back down. Back. Oh, he's just coming apart here. All right. You take this back piece is like this when you take them out. For transformation into robot mode, you got to take those and fold them in roughly like that. And they're going to have these little tabs. You see that? And they're going to go in those little spots on his back there. You see those? I don't do transformation videos because it's too difficult to try to line this stuff up perfect to get it where it makes sense. But once it's in there, looks like that, okay? You take his arm. You see you got the little plug. You got the little hole. You plug him in. And now he's got arms. Okay. So here he is. He's all right. I didn't really like the Ratchet for a few reasons. And this guy has some similar issues, but they're not quite as bad. The biggest thing is the thickness of these legs. He's going to always stand at an awkward angle. You can adjust his feet a little bit, right? But he's always going to stand at kind of a rough angle. And his head sits kind of low here, I noticed too. Like it's kind of obscured by that little shield thing. And it kind of looks like he's got a bit of a gut here. It's not as pronounced in person, but on the video here, it looks kind of gut-like. Let me grab the Ratchet. If I can find him. He's over here somewhere. Ah. I'll give you a little comparison because they're the same basic mold. And they did change up the chest quite a bit. But they sunk the head down real low for Ironhide versus what's on the Ratchet, right? I don't know. Now Ratchet here has the medical beam arm on, but you get the general impression, right? Who's that down there? Oh, that's okay. So he's interesting. He's more for the completion of the collection than it is to have like a nice fun toy, you know, because they didn't make one for him before in the original line from the game. These are new. Let's get into his accessories. His accessories, of course, are in this little tissue paper package on the side here. I'm going to pull out these string things to keep track of them. I don't want my cats to eat them and choke on them. Let's cut into this tissue paper. He's going to have a gun of some kind. He's going to have an axe weapon, which is exactly what Ratchet had. Ratchet had this axe weapon. It's in two parts. The head of the axe, some decent sculpting and whatnot, you know. Top and the bottom part. You put them together, you got an axe, okay? And then he's also got this weapon. Now, they started adding this so that they could hold them without having to take the arm off, if you want to do that. They didn't have those at first in the first couple figures, but they changed it because people were like, well, what if we just want people to hold the weapon? But it's got the spot where you can plug it in place of the arm. Now that this part's finished, I can slip that back in the box. Careful not to destroy the instructions and stuff. I probably won't use them, but because I have a good idea of how he's going to transform, which I'm not going to do his transformation here, because I don't do transformation videos because they're not perfect. Unless you're really good at explaining that kind of stuff, which I'm not, then I'm just not going to do that. But you can put the gun in his hand easy enough, or take off, unpeg the right arm, put that on the peg, and he's got the gun in place of his arm, which is how it was in the game. Okay? Good stuff. Decent. He's more of a showpiece figure than a playable figure, you know. But I'm pleased to have him regardless. You can stash the axe. It's got this little spot here, this little open spot, and then there's a little part there. And so you can kind of it's not great. I'm going to do it the upside down way. You can do that. I guess. I'll probably do what I did with the Ratchet. I'll just toss the axe somewhere and not worry about it. And then if I want him to use it, I want him to use it. But all in all, not a bad figure. So we're going to set him aside. And we're going to get into the big baddie of the whole thing here. We're going to get into Megatronus. So let's open him up here. This is going to be a longer video than usual for these because there's so much involved here. 2 figures, 2 unboxings, you know. You pull them out, you got the instructions again. Set that over there. Use my scissors. Cut it loose. Carefully, don't want to scratch the paint. Hey, don't scratch the paint, man. And then get him out. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. Compare him to let's just compare him to the Ironhide. He's big. Let's compare him to a Megatron. This is the minor Megatron from IDW. Oh, some dust here. And he's a good size larger. He's a good bit larger. He's got this little part here. I don't know what that's for. Is that for his sword? No, he's got some kind of axe thing along with a sword, which is interesting. Let's get his Requiem blaster out, which is nice. Not exactly how it looked in the comics, but you can adjust certain things on it. Oh, here, look. And you can lengthen it. It goes like, I'm trying to keep my fingers here so you can see it. You lift up in the back, and then forward. And there you go. It's also got this little moving part to attach it in different ways. So you can either have it on his arm, or you can have it in his hand, or whatever. Let's keep it extended. Give him a little bit of a pose here. Hey, looking nice, huh? Looking tough. Some interesting things going on with his shoulders as far as connections and things go. Probably for transformation. He's a little loose in the hips, so I gotta be careful. He might fall over. He's got hands that open up, so that's helpful. So he can say, "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well." And yeah, he's a decent enough figure. I'm waiting for Onyx Prime for very specific reasons. So we'll just wait until Onyx Prime gets here. Well, let's get into his accessory pack. Let's liberate his sword here. Oh, stab myself in the face with it. He's got the sword. He's got that stick thing that he uses for whatever this axe is going to be. Put his little machete in there. It's more of a machete than a sword. So let's undo his accessory pack. Let's see what we got here. Now, he's got quite a few things in here, which I'm dropping all over the place. So let's get some of this stuff cleaned up. You always end up with so much of these things you got to clean up. Again, I got to clean them up because I don't want my cats to eat them and think they're going to play with them. But now that we got all those accessories out, before I show you that, let's pack this up back in the box. Make a big noise. Still picking up these little things. Okay, we'll put him over here. He's got a bunch of these little flame accessories that go all around him because his energon is supposed to burn so hot that he actually lights on fire. Don't know if I'm going to use all that kind of stuff, but it's neat. You got places you can put that, like you're supposed to be able to put it on his shoulders and things, you know. Because it's supposed to look like he's shrouded in fire. That's cool. And then he's got this little set of missiles with a plug on the bottom, and that'll plug into his shoulder right here on the top. I'm assuming, since that's just a spare peg that's not doing anything. So then it's going to be there on his shoulder. He's got the head of the axe. Which goes on there. So he can hold that in his other hand. My cats are trying to play with his blast effects. So now he's got his axe, he's got his machete, he's got his gun. And then he's got an extra barrel for the Requiem blaster that plugs in this end on the end there. And that's mostly supposed to be for tank mode, but it makes the blaster pretty lengthy. It's the length almost of his entire body at this point, which is what I would expect more of something of the Requiem blaster's supposed power from the comics and things, you know? It was supposed to be a pretty beefy item. So I'm going to collapse that a little bit. And that's what it is at half size. So there you go. There is the fallen Megatronus, one of the 13 primes. I've already got Vector Prime and Alpha Trion. And for what it's worth, I got the Titans Return, Combiner Wars, etc. Sentinel Prime over there. And I've got Nova Prime. But as far as the originals go, this dude is he's pretty beastly. Pretty beastly. At some point, I'm going to get these guys back on the turntable. I know I haven't had any turntable videos in a while since I've done this, but I am going to get that done so you can see the primes in all of their glory. And that's it. If you are getting the Age of the Primes figures, tell me about it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about them. Let me know which one's your favorite. I know not all of them are out just yet, but you've got Megatronus is out, Prima is out in the wild, Solus Prime is out in the wild. Mine of those two should be coming at any point in the near future. Alchemist Prime was shown off recently. Onyx Prime was shown off recently, and I will definitely have an Onyx Prime for various related reasons. And I'll explain that when I get that one because of this right here. If you know, you know. And there's still a few other ones that have yet to be shown as figures until we have all 13 primes. I'm not going to get the Star Convoy, the Commander class Optimus Prime. Basically, I'm not going to get that. It's the price wise and looks wise. I'm not into it. I like some of these other ones, but I don't need yet another version of an Optimus. If I want an Optimus as part of the 13 primes, I will just pick one of the ones that I have that fits the aesthetic the most, and that'll be that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to be collecting any of these. How do you feel about them? How do you feel about the various price points? I'd love to hear your take on all of this stuff. So until next time, of course, that's all I got. See you later.